from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
Welcome back. It's just about 6:30. Good morning. I'm Devin, Fehely.
And I'm Emily Turner, and this morning for Julie Watts. Let's start this half hour with a check on your forecast. Taking a look at your high-def Doppler. You can see there's a little bit of green on there still. That means we have some lingering showers, most of them in the South Bay. They are going to start to make their way out over the next couple of hours, and then we should be mostly clear throughout the entire Bay Area by the afternoon, and then certainly by tomorrow. You can see with a few lingering clouds out of our Salesforce tower, just right there on the horizon, those are going to start to make their way out. Your current temperatures in San Francisco right now, 57 degrees, 60 in Concord, 55 in Santa Rosa. They're going to start to climb as the sun comes up. Not too terribly warm, though. We are keeping an eye on visibility for those of you who are hitting the road or going out of town via a flight. Look at that SFO, about 6 miles of visibility. Check in, make sure your flights are still on time. Same thing in San Jose, 4 miles visibility. Oakland Airport looking good, as well as the Santa Rosa Airport, only about 8 miles, or 8 miles of visibility, so looking good pretty much there. Your satellite and radar shows some changes on the way thanks to this high pressure system that's starting to move in, and behind that, another round of changes. I'll tell you exactly what those are just a little bit later.
The California Highway Patrol now confirms at least one death in a single vehicle freeway accident in San Jose. It happened earlier this morning on southbound Interstate 280 just north of Bascom Avenue. The Mercedes rolled over, trapping all 4 people inside. The San Jose Fire Department had to use the jaws of life to extricate them. The CHP says that alcohol appears to be a factor in that crash. 2 people are recovering from minor injuries after a passenger ferry collided into a dock in San Francisco yesterday. The impact strong enough to knock over this railing. Check out this video from the moment it made impact. In this video, you can hear people bracing for the boat's impact, many just standing and watching as it moves by. It appears that the boat was going at a pretty high speed for being so close to land. 53 passengers were on board. The ferry was coming from Larkspur. The Coast Guard will investigate the cause of that accident. Now, taking a closer look at the damage, you can see a massive dent and a hole in the boat's hull. The ferry will have to be towed into dry dock for repairs.
The devastating Camp Fire is now close to full containment after a few days of rain in Butte County. The death toll still stands at 84, but the good news is that the number of people unaccounted for has dropped to 475. That fire is now 95% contained. Volunteers have been mobilizing to bring some holiday cheer to those wildfire evacuees. So many volunteers showed up. They were asked instead to eat with survivors and listen to their stories. They are tales of terror and grit that give survivors a big reason now to celebrate Thanksgiving.
You have to take the little things. I mean, you got to think about it that way. I saved Mom, so I'm grateful that my mom made it out.
You know, the stories talking to these folks, they're so dramatic, and they were so thankful that, considering how awful this fire was, that they made it out.
You know, I'm sure anything that gives them even the littlest bit of normalcy when their life has just been flipped upside down, I'm sure they're so appreciative and thankful for that.
Yeah, we saw it happen here with our fires last year. It's going to be a long road to recovery, but at least they have something to look forward to as far as that normalcy. Well, as I mentioned, the new aerial imagery maps showing 360-degree views of the damaged property in the burn areas. You can see them here. In fact, we've posted a link to those on our website. Just go to KPIX.com. It's under links and numbers.
And a new report from the White House has a dire warning. Climate change and its impacts could cost the U.S. economy hundreds of billions of dollars by the end of the century. That could mean more than 10% of the GDP. The report predicts hotter temperatures will make it tougher for farmers to grow crops, and wildfires will burn up to 6 times more forest area every year. The report was put together by leading scientists working with federal agencies. If you plan on hitting the roads this weekend, you're going to see plenty of CHP officers out there. They are ramping up patrols. Officers are looking for speeders and seatbelt violators, as well as distracted and impaired drivers. The maximum enforcement period runs through tomorrow night.
The bail bond industry is one step closer toward challenging a state law that eliminates cash bail. Governor Jerry Brown signed a State Senate Bill 10 this past August, and it's supposed to go into effect next fall. It eliminates the payment of money as a condition for release from jail. Now, bail bond industry groups say they are against it. They say that bail is a right that most defendants should have, and they're trying to put the issue before voters in a referendum in 2020. The bill's co-author says he's ready for a fight.
I expect the industry will be throwing everything they can at television ads to trick voters to try to overturn this, but I think fundamentally Californians understand the fairness of saying that you ought to be let out of prison before your trial based on whether you're a threat to community, not based on what your income is.
Referendum backers have now collected more than 500,000 signatures. If enough of those signatures turn out to be valid, the new law would be suspended until after the 2020 vote.
You're going to start seeing postal workers at work bright and early. We're talking about 5:30 in the morning. The United States Postal Service is starting early mail delivery in the Bay Area to ramp up package delivery for the holidays. They're expecting at least 50 million more packages than last year and over 3 billion pieces of mail in the week of December 17th to the 23rd alone.
Well, in this week's top health stories, federal officials are still warning Americans to avoid eating any romaine lettuce due to an outbreak of E. coli. Since October 8th, the bacterial outbreak has sent 13 people to hospitals and at least one person has suffered kidney failure. The FDA is working to determine the source of the tainted romaine lettuce. 1 in 4 U.S. adults sit for more than 8 hours a day, according to a new CDC report. Sitting too long and being physically inactive are linked to poor health outcomes. The report also found 4 in 10 adults are physically inactive with no moderate or vigorous activity during the week.
The wet weather didn't stop Bay Area shoppers from hitting outdoor malls. The premium outlets in Livermore were open for 27 hours. They were packed the whole time. The mall said that crowds were just as big as last year, despite a soggy Black Friday. Customers lined up under shelters to stay dry while waiting for the deals.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was about to save like over $200 on Polo, so that's winning.
The outlets will reopen this morning at 9 a.m. The National Retail Foundation estimates the average Black Friday shopper spent a little more than $1,000 yesterday. A young man is under arrest in the North Bay accused of vandalizing 2 schools that he used to attend. Santa Rosa police got a report yesterday morning of a pickup truck in a field at Jack London Elementary doing donuts and tearing up the grass. A similar incident happened a bit later at Piner High School. Officers caught up with a white pickup at a shopping center and arrested the driver. They also found a loaded gun and a package of cocaine. The suspect, 21-year-old Christopher Nell, faces multiple charges. And a fashion powerhouse in hot water accused of racism.
Dolce & Gabbana in trouble over a series of ads, including this one. Take a look. They show an Asian actress trying to eat Italian food with chopsticks. The whole matter was made worse by offensive comments posted from Stefano Gabbana's Instagram account, which he claims was hacked. But the damage had been done. A building boycott now has forced D&G to cancel a major fashion show in Shanghai, which was set for this coming week.
And it's time for us to call it a morning. Thank you for watching KPIX 5 News this morning.